The other half of Weta is the digital department, the computer department. And that was really came together on Heavenly Creatures. We did about 30 CG, computer-generated shots for that movie. And we only had one computer at the time, but at least we got the hang of how to do this stuff, and we sort of, solved some of the problems ourselves and figured out the basic process. So when it came time to do The Frighteners, I was very keen to do all the effects down in New Zealand. It's not just a sort of ego thing because it's my company or anything like that. It's really a practical thing for me because as the director of the film, I have to have such a close contact with the effects to make sure that that they're done as efficiently as possible. If you've got over 500 shots, as we had on The Frighteners, you can't afford for people to be going off in the wrong direction for too long. I've always got to look at what's happening and to steer people the right way so that we can be as efficient as possible. They can get that shot finished to move on to the next.
I mean, what's he going to look like?
Because The Frighteners has so many computer shots, I think it would be quite good if we just had a look at that process. It begins on film. We shoot the film as we would normally, with a 35mm camera. And then that piece of film, the negative, has to go through the system of being scanned into a computer. So we should probably find someone who can explain that to us.
Right. This is where it's really happening. I'm not sure what the rest of those people were telling you, but in point of fact, this facility right here, the machine room at Weta Digital, is the center of digital activity here. There's actually 3 distinct processes that you have to go through when you're working on digital effects for film. The first is the actual digitization of the scanned elements. The second is the processing that happens throughout the facility, and the third is the recording of those elements finally out to film. Normally what happens is this unit actually takes filmed elements that we've received edited decision lists for and digitizes them into a format that is readable by the machines in the facility. Typically, a scanned element at 2K resolution is about 9 megabytes worth of information. In typical Hollywood terms, a digital effect is considered about 5 seconds long, about 5 discrete elements. That might be a background plate, a composited element on top of that, a miniature, a computer model, those kinds of elements. It typically takes between 1.5 to 2 gigabytes of storage space to store those elements. One shot in this facility can take as much as 10 gigabytes of storage space. To address that need, at the height of the Frighteners, when we were really crunching through the shots, we had almost 1.6 terabytes of disk space available throughout the facility. The last step after the actual digital processing is the recording of the final digital images onto film. That happens here. This is a Solitaire Cine 3 recorder. We actually have 2 of them in the facility. It takes about 35 to 36 seconds to actually record the finished digital image back out into film. That happens, it's queued up here by an operator, shot onto this camera. We send it off to the lab for processing and then check the print. How's that?